Nini everyone, Zavora here. So I was actually talking with Christian Kemetic about different aspects of a priest and the types of roles that priests can take on and whatnot. And we got discussing the topic of Godspousing. And I personally, she said that like the Kemetic community seems to be divided. Like some of them are totally in support of it and some people are totally against it. And I'm one of the people that is against it. And that's only because of my stance on what deity is, what these entities we interact with are. So yeah, that's just my thing. So I'm totally against it based on my views of deities. And she's kind of for it, because I think, because she was talking about joining a Kemetic support group for God spouses, or she's more interested in the topic or something like that. But either way, from a historical point of view, because that's really the only thing that I can discuss with you. From there, you got UPG, and you're just gonna have to go with your own thoughts on that. But from a historical point of view, Godspousing did happen. But it seems to be for political reasons. It really took root in the 18th dynasty. I believe that Nefertiti was a god spouse to Amun. She was the god's wife of Amun. It also had to do with Hatshepsut being legitimized as a pharaoh, as Amun coming down and claiming her as a wife. So it seems to have, either way, it seems to have disappeared in the 26th century, in the 26th dynasty of Egypt. So it was like middle to late area. It was around, but again, it always seemed to be political in nature and not really truly religious, because the religion and the state of Egypt, the government and the religion were one in the same, because Pharaoh, the Nisu, the king, was royal and divine, and he was a god. He was Horus, the embodiment of Horus on earth. Now, the idea is that a piece of Horus's soul resides in each king, and a piece of Horus's soul resides in each of the heirs. So there can be the kingly Ka in multiple people. And that's one of the claims that the Kemetic Orthodox House of Necher Church kind of claims. So historically it is correct, but in my opinion it is not needed, because historically there was also a man conducting rituals outside of his house when there was no king, and then there was a period of weak kings. Did they ever have the kingly Ka? So, in my opinion, a king's not needed, but that's a separate issue. Anyway, so Horus, being a god, his soul resides in these kings, these divine humans. They take wives. So God spousing certainly is historically correct from a Kemetic point, but I don't personally... If I believed in the gods as beings, I don't think I would look to them as sexual entities, even though they are. They did create the world through sex and create each other through sex. I would look to them more as parental type figures. So for me, I wouldn't ever claim to be a god spouse. I'd be more of like a child of that deity. And that kind of tend to be like the case with a lot of the the kings and stuff. Their fathers were Amun. Their fathers were Set. Their fathers were Horus. So that tends to be more of a consistent running thing in traditionally speaking in Egypt, rather than the wife and god spousing and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't even know if there was men who married goddesses. I think it's always been women that married gods. So I'm not even sure if you could be a man and be a god spouse, historically speaking. or if there's ever been a case of that in ancient times. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe there was a special priestly type ritual no one knows about that died off. I'm not sure. There certainly were a lot of roles that the priests did in ancient times. So maybe one of those was being the royal husband to a deity or something. The other thing would be like, I am a wife, okay? So my relationship with my husband, it's not just sexual. I know everything about him. I know his full name, his birthday, what he likes, what he dislikes, where he likes to be touched, where he doesn't want to be touched. I know his buttons to push if I want to set him off. You know, I know everything about my husband that a wife should know. So I don't think I could ever have that type of knowledge when it comes to deity. I mean, there's a lot of UPG there. And if there's that much UPG, the message that you're getting may be different from Susie Sally down the street, okay? She may be getting a totally different message from supposedly the same deity. And if you're getting totally different messages, are you both really married to that deity? Can deity be that complex that they have likes and dislikes depending on the person they're with? I don't know. You're talking some pretty deep shit there that I'm really not comfortable getting into because I personally don't believe in deity in that manner. So it's really just a lot of UPG, and at that point, it's personal. So you really don't really even have to talk about it if you're not comfortable talking about it. Maybe it is one of those things you just kind of keep secretly inside you, because it is kind of like a one-sided thing. And I don't know, like I said, the witchy community seems to be really divided on this idea of Godspousing. So yeah, those are just my thoughts on it. That's it for tonight, guys. Sanapte.